This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Your body, your appearance, and how you feel are influenced by hormones. In the absence of hormonal balance, sleep is disrupted, brain fog occurs, weight gain becomes prevalent, and libido declines. There is a better way. It is important to understand that hormones do not cause harm. When they are produced in healthy amounts, hormones keep our bodies moving. However, we must live in reality and accept that when hormone levels are off, our health does as well. Fortunately, there are solutions. You can now test your hormones at home. Valeria interviews Alannah Slingsby. She is the CEO and founder of Moment Health, a health femtech startup focused on testing and treating hormone imbalances with a whole person approach from the comfort of your own home. Meet Alannah at momenthealth.co. Here's the interview with Alannah Slingsby.
In your own words, who is Alannah Slingsby? I hope I got it right.
Yeah, no problem. My name is Alannah Slingsby, and I'm the CEO of Moment Health, and it's a telehealth company that solves women's hormones and health. And that's who I am right now.
Yes, yeah, I like that. That's who I am right now. That's the focus of your life. It's into this
most
work.
Of the day. Yeah, right. Most of the day. But it's a good, right? It's like such a your art is like such a solace. It's such a outlet for humanness, for the craziness of the day, having just an extension of you is nice. So yes.
Yeah. And I'll ask you from the get-go, what inspired you to do the work that you're doing today, Alannah?
So it's actually very personal. It's a very crazy story, but my mom was exposed to a synthetic hormone drug called DES in the 50s. And she had so many crazy issues from being exposed. And it stunted her growth. She had, infertility issues and a lifetime of chronic pain. And so there's ongoing studies of how this affected the grandchildren, me and my brothers. And so I've just always been into health and hormones as a result. And then I was working at Twitter in corporate finance. And I started getting really sick from the cafeteria food. It was so crazy. I was sick all the time. I had the flu. It was crazy. And I was I have to stop eating this food. And I started doing all this research about, how food can change everything and just how it changes your hormones. And everything was so out of balance from eating this food. And so I quit and I left to help work for my mom. And she's a medical doctor now. And we ended up building a huge social media following, and it was so fun. And then we started getting all these questions what do I do for perimenopause, and what do I do when I get hot flashes? And I just was obsessed with this idea that hormones can cause cancer, and they can. That's why women get breast cancer, men get prostate cancer, and they check your hormones to see how it's affecting the pathology. And I'm just how does no one talk about this? How does no one talk about your own body is what causes cancer? It's made of the same stuff that you're made out of. Not saying you're causing it, or the environment changes the aspects of the body. But still, it was like so under talked about how like hormones are dictating your life. And you think about like cancer as this like scary end result of disease. On the opposite is like this euphoric existence, and like the hormones are the backbone of the organism, and so they're determining your life in so many ways. So then, we launched Moment, which is a telehealth platform for women's health that focuses on hormones a while ago, and we've just been growing every day and seeing women and helping women and making sure they're getting the most safe and effective options out there and getting them feeling good again. So, the whole story.
That's beautiful, though. I love the intention and the work that is involved. I know it's a lot of work and research to do what you're doing. So that's really wonderful. Thank you so much, Alannah. We need more human beings with this attitude of helping one another. It doesn't really matter how, a lot of times could be simple things, but I know this is more complex. And it's so true. It resonates true to me. I remember, I don't know if he was here. I heard that never left me the answer that somebody gave me. I asked, I read somewhere, what is to be a human being? And then this person said, hormones. That's what basically we are. It's a resonance, of course, because I have not been exposed to all kinds of hormone imbalances, to speak from that place. But I see that, I feel the change when I'm 46 now, so I'm probably going through. I just asked my mother about when her menopause, when the whole, let's say, red flower stopped visiting her. She said at 46. So that's my age. That was very early.
Yeah.
So I already am into that process, the perimenopause that you spoke earlier. And then I feel it's becoming more, let's say, accentuated now. I can feel a lot more of those changes, but I don't consider them to be bad. There's something about me that's always, this is nature and it's okay. Yeah. But I do eat healthy. I'm very conscious about what I put in my body and exercise and everything. Nice. So since we're already talking about this was the second section, but I can't help it. So what are hormones and what are the signs when they are out of balance?
Yeah, so they're these little chemical messengers that you can't even see. And they basically give messages to your body on how to act. So, even everything from the hair you grow on your body to the excitement you feel. And there's different kinds. So we focus on steroid hormones, which means they are produced from cholesterol. And it's funny, like cholesterol gets this like really bad rap, but it's this, everything's opposite in this world, right? Like, so it's like the most demonized thing in the world when it's an antioxidant that literally allows you to, produce life. So it's, the building blocks of all steroid hormones are cholesterol. And they're so incredibly crucial. But then what happens is through the aging process, all of these interruptions can happen. And this can start really early on. Like if we consider how, like puberty is happening earlier and earlier, which is astounding. And no one wants to ask the question why, because historically, like puberty wasn't until like 17 years old. And now we're seeing it so early. So this is happening so early on, and it's happening even, before that with the mother's health. But what happens is basically, there's optimal ranges of production of these hormones. And then, everything from medication to diet, nutrition, or to the natural aging process. So really, when you get to a certain point, like it's almost a gift because humans have never lived this long. And so that's where like menopause arrives, is like the organism isn't prepared for these changes because we haven't had a long enough, time for this to totally be like solved in the body. And so that's when you see things like hot flashes, fatigue, really this like massive storm of issues where, nothing's isolated in the body. So it would make sense that it's not just like one thing. So you have, a huge, you can't sleep, all kinds of things, earlier on in the more like fertile years, there's PCOS, endometriosis, which those, tend to be this combination of low progesterone, high estrogen, high cortisol, and low thyroid. And that kind of carries on. But, you being like 46 and being like, it's not so bad is a true testament of how you've lived your life for the last, 46 years, because who you are at menopause is a reflection of how things have happened. It's always worse for someone that's had a really intense, hard life, that it wasn't been eating well, hasn't been sleeping well. And so it says in the word pause, and this really is a time to like, whoa, pause, it's literally in the word. And so, yes, like a hormone issue really is at play at perimenopause and menopause, because you don't have a choice, because progesterone's really dipping so much, and, estrogen and testosterone are right there with it. Their production's going down so much, so you really feel like this vaginal dryness, you irritable, all these things. But it's happening earlier and earlier, just like as we see with puberty. So
something that caught my attention, you said that in the human history we have not lived as long, so that's why the body's it's adapting to the change of living longer.
Yeah, and
that
that's to say we're smarter than our ancestors. It's to like, historically, there was famine, there was warfare, there was sickness due to not having a cleanly environment.
Right.
And so those three items really shorten the lifespan. I always am like hesitant on bringing that up, because I feel like there's this like notion that we're like so much smarter than our ancestors, when that's I'm always defending them,
Yes, we are here because of them in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
They survived all that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So true. Let me ask you an open question. Just in general, what is your idea of a healthy human being? What is to be healthy?
I think about health, it's in everything, it's in the way you laugh, it's in the way you sleep, it's in the way you walk. And it starts from this, like, I really don't think complete, or true health is totally optimized without like a healthy childhood. So it's all these things of how your mother kissed and loved you, and how she like held you. So it's I guess, health is involved in, it's so many all-encompassing factors. But what we're focused on at the moment is really this cornerstone of health, which is that healthy production of sex hormones. And those when those are restored to youthful levels, and it sounds kind of crazy. It's like, how am I able to like biohack the body why do I want to stay 30 forever? And, it's really good to think of it as protective, and there's really nothing safer, right? It's not like you're supplementing with something else. You're supplementing with something that you're already producing. So there's really, people kind of think of it as this sort of like a natural thing or something, but, solving it with natural hormones, those are based on plants, first of all. And, they come from plants, they come from yams, ginger, soy, but, they come from plants, but also restoring them is restoring something your body's already been producing. And you're just restoring it to youthful levels, because that is protective for the body in a lot of ways.
Yes, I love that. And then, of course, I would love to know more about that, Alannah. So how does it work? It's we go to your website, and then I know it's a membership website, and then we sign up, and then it's in-home. We receive everything in-house, all the testing. How does it work? I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so there's two options. You can do the at-home test, or you can do the just meet with the doctor, and she'll send you a slip that goes to LabCorp and CoreQuest, and then we'll get the results, and you'll have access to our platform. So we help with nutrition, we help with exercise, we have a life coach on staff, we have a health coach. So it really is this 360 approach, because we don't go home with you, but we want you to have all the tools that you possibly can to succeed. So we have a lot of things available. But yeah, once we get the results from the blood test, we can review them through a Zoom call, and then we send you everything you need straight to your door. So it's really easy. It couldn't be easier, and it's super convenient, and like refills, it's basically on demand too. Like, we're available 24/7. And so it's nice to know someone's there. You're not just like thrown around and without like someone to talk to. So
So there's a lot of guidance throughout the whole process. Oh, not just the process. The process doesn't have an end in a way. As long as we are engaging with your company and the products, we always have you available. That sounds really great. And then you also mentioned that everything's natural. And then I have that question for you. Off record, we talked briefly about, I shouldn't be disclosing this here, but I will. My husband is taking peptides.
Yeah.
What is the difference between peptides and steroid?
So steroid hormones are, they come from cholesterol. And so that's really the difference. And then the peptide hormones are, they consist of different kind of amino acids. Okay. And so we use peptide hormones too. People use them to turn on a certain, just turn on a certain repair process or a certain function in the body. There's all kinds. There's BCP, which is for like recovery. There's CJC for the healing process, and there's people are using semaglutide peptides. I guess there's so many different kinds. And then the steroid hormones that people replenish, which are like also termed like sex hormones. Those are derived from cholesterol. So they're different from like, thyroid hormones, which are not derived from cholesterol. So we do thyroid management too, though, because yes, our wedge is like, the sex hormones, but it's really hard to look at anything in isolation in the body because everything's dancing together in this like beautiful choreography.
Right.
So if you're not eating right, then the sex hormones are going to be right. Well, if we don't talk about eating, then how are we going to really promote, true healing in the body?
Yes. Wow, that's a beautiful point. Yes. So it's a holistic approach. It's, as you say, I think I read on your website, whole person approach.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, that's it. It's one of the products that you use, peptides?
Yes. Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're still at the early ages of, I'm like understanding how, this world of peptides is going to change longevity. But like a lot of it does look really promising and safe. And yeah, we'll be exploring it more. It's, obviously we are honed in on just hormone replacement, but we do a lot of peptides as well. So, and I always ask them, I always want to follow up. I'm like so curious how they feel after, because it's a big investment in the body. And a lot of people have really good things to say and are reordering it. So it is, I think it bodes well. Yeah.
Yes. And I love the idea of trying anyway, for those who have, let's say, those hormone imbalances, very obvious. It is happening after we do the test. Then why not? Mm-hmm. I love trying different things. I have not done anything yet because it has not affected me in a major way, in a way that I can function. Mm-hmm. So I think I don't have to do anything. But I do want to check, though, this is on my list, a to-do list of getting the hormones, the blood test, just to check everything. It has been a long time. With that in mind, so the signs to look for, I think you mentioned earlier, the effects are sleep and then fatigue. What else? Stress.
Some people get, cysts, like fibrocystic breasts. If you get the kind of like, so that like that, it's really, the breasts don't lie. It's kind of crazy. And so they really don't. They are like these, they're indicating so much. So if you have like that cystic feeling in your breast, that's actually hardened collagen, and it gets hardened because of estrogen. And so there's all these like feedback loops that you want to pay attention to, and that's one of them with breasts. So that, and then hair in places that you feel like shouldn't be there, like too much hair on your chin is a sign of things being off balance, and really every single ailment can be like tracked back to like a hormone that's either deficient or being overproduced in the body or oversecreted. It's crazy. It's like we have to like, not be really specific when we talk to customers about what we treat. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like anyone could really benefit from probably understanding their sex hormones.
Yes. The more I listen to you, that's kind of becoming very clear to me. So hormones, they affect us in every way. The way we feel. That's actually the title of this episode, because it really resonated true to me. The way I have it here, let's see, your body, appearance, and feelings are influenced by hormones.
Yeah.
Everything.
Even bunions on the toes, like bunions, scoliosis, the way your back is shaped, is reflected of your mom's hormonal profile. So it's truly like in every way, acting on you at all times in every way, always acting on you. So you want to make sure they're optimal and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful invitation, Alannah. Thank you. I'll share that with my community, of course. And I'm the first one to be exposed to these information, whatever we talk here. So I'm always like trying to apply or see what can I do for myself and people around me, my family members, and then, of course, pass on to my community.
Yeah.
So it's really, really a great knowledge to pass on. It's education, isn't it? You actually mentioned that too. It's nutrition, lifestyle, but education. The more we know, the better it is about these things. And you mentioned earlier too about cancer, hormones, and the connection, the link between them, which a lot of us don't really know.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one of the open questions I have for you. Going back to that first section. How do you define success these days? What is to be successful to you?
You know, that's such a good question, because I feel like it's kind of an intimidating question, because like I almost feel like creation is embarrassing, you know, like even like me having like my own business, I'm like kind of embarrassed that my name's out there and like I have to, you know, like go on podcasts and do all of this. Like it's like part, like I think that's like a great quote. I forget who said it. Creation is embarrassing. But then I also, you know, feel like, you know, like success is like the next step up of embarrassing, of like desiring it is never, I don't know. It's never been like, I need to have this certain thing. It's always like, I just want to create and construct stuff. I feel like humans are kind of like ants that way, where we just like we love assembling things. We love putting together podcasts. We love like putting together artworks. We love putting together businesses and like different ways of designing. We love putting together tweets and books and songs and stuff. And I am so that person where it's like, I'm not necessarily like desiring a specific outcome or anything. I just love constructing things. I love putting together like even like an Instagram post. I love talking to a patient, and like that's like essentially constructing a better outcome for someone's health. And so to me, I just like wake up and I like the act of constructing something that I believe exists in the world. So to me, that is like, I've already, you know, reached success, like building a practice from nothing, with absolutely no help. You know, I didn't go out and like raise a ton of money, which I could. I probably, you know, maybe in hindsight that would have made my life a lot easier. But I just, you know, went for it, and just, you know, I think people tell when things are made with like true authenticity and like you truly just believe in the mission. And I, you know, just grinding so that, you know, you can have another day of assembling an art or a project or a business, so that, you know, the world can kind of enjoy what your little gift is, you know?
Yes, right. It's beautiful listening to you again. Now it's more in that genuine side of it. I love that expression of human beings just doing things that it feels natural to them. That's what it is. It's, you know, I can't help it but do this. That's basically it. It's like a flower, you know. The flowers are just so beautiful, but they can't help but be beautiful.
Yes.
They just are.
Like there's nothing you could imagine doing, you know, this day. And it changes, right? Like there's different phases. Like, you know, maybe in a few years, my construction will be like a family or kids or something. You know, and so it has there's different phases in life. But I think when I have kids, like I will want them to find that earlier. Like you know, when you think like historically, like wasn't Mozart like 17 years old or something when he was making his art? And I feel like we delay this so much. We kind of say like, oh, you have to stay in school and play and do stuff that doesn't matter for so long because you're not ready for it. Yeah. And I feel like that infantilization is like hurting. And I won't do it with my family. I want them to like find their gift to the world as soon as they can, so they can keep getting even better and become the best in the world. So
yeah. That's a beautiful vision, though. Really beautiful. I love this idea too of playing with life in a meaningful way. That's having fun, right? Like as if we were kids still.
Yes.
Wow, I love that vision, Alannah. That's really beautiful. Let me know when you become a mother. Hopefully we'll meet again. Who knows? Maybe the podcast will be here or not in a different form. I'd love to get the feedback from you. 10 years later, 5 years later, here it is, Alannah. That sounds really beautiful. I love that. Is that the same understanding you have for the idea of purpose, having purpose in life? Success and purpose, are they all one and the same?
I think, purpose and meaning go together more. Yeah, for me, like meaning. I think we're all like where we feel this like sense of lack in our life is this like lack of meaning. And you have to fill your time doing something, right? Like you have 8 hours a day. And so that's going to be the bulk of your life is this like activity you choose to do. And I don't know why we skirt around this so much that like, I don't know, especially I guess for women, I feel like it's like, we don't tell them that you've got to fill your day with 8 hours. What is your song to sing? And because I listened to the wrong people and went off and did stuff I wasn't meant to do because society, thought I should do it. I thought I had to be like in corporate finance because that was like the thing to do. And, you're influenced by society more than the true instincts inside you sometimes.
Yes.
So
most often than not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, you find the meaning right there when you find your song that you're meant to sing. And so that's really like the crux of enjoyment in life is having this like state of flow where your art and you are like so deeply connected that you can then give it to the world and then success comes no matter what, right? It's like it build it right and people come. So
Beautifully said. Yes, it's almost like success already happened. That's how I feel when I create something from the heart, like you said. I love the way you say when your song is a song from the heart, right? From that place that feels true to us. Then it's already success to me. What else? And then everything else is like a gift. It's like added gift.
And like, and not to be like nihilistic or anything, but like, one day we will all die. Everything you've ever made will never be remembered or anything. So, you only have one life and you have this like window of time to give it your entire being and your entire soul. And so, we should let people, as soon as possible, even like, very early, like this is what's gonna, nothing external will really make you happy. Your state of flow in art is really like, that's my conclusion from having gone to all the parties, gone on all the trips,
yes,
traveled to every country, done everything. Like my conclusion was like, I actually was never happier. And I feel most at peace when I'm in a state of flow, working on my art, working on projects that, not that they're going to make me a lot of money or anything, just that like, it just felt meant to be or something. I don't know. There's probably much better way to say it, but.
Right. No, that's it. Yeah. You're saying in a very clear way to me. Yes, that's exactly it. So it's something that to me feels, I have to bring this up because when you say the word soul and everything that you're speaking of kind of resonates with the way I interpret the idea of spirituality, which is kind of going deeper into what this is, which I call my life, and then me, and then to see what's this made of? What is this all about? And that's when we find the song that you speak of. Yeah. And then we have the courage too. Do you have any spiritual ideas, Alannah, about yourself or life itself, spiritual views, belief systems?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I mean, I'm like a very religious. I'm a religious person too. Like I definitely like believe. I pray to God every morning when I wake up. I want to get married in a church. Like I don't know. I don't know. So I think there's a lot of overlap of like this like God and the universe are one. But I have one mindset that I stick to, and it's basically that nothing can ever be wrong. Everything is perfect. Every like mistake, every challenge is so perfect. And like the natural default state that it's nearly impossible for something to be wrong. And And so that has helped me so much. Even like, from business, like if we have a slow day of patient inquiries or orders, I want to kick back and say, oh my gosh, this is so wrong. Why, we're the best. Why are we not doing this? When I'm like, and then a week later, I realized, oh my God, we had to change pricing. Thank God that didn't happen. Like,
Yes.
seriously, thank God, like get over, have our
Yes.
normal traction. Like, wow, I am so protected. I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest person in the world. And so like my basic outlook on life is that nothing is ever wrong. Everything is so perfect. And it always has been true. Like I'm going to be, I'll be, 29 in a few months and 30 a year. So
very wise and very, very wise.
But, I mean, not really. Like, I just feel like, you go through enough like challenges and then you realize like, oh my God, it was all like for me. It was all for, I can't believe it. Like how like divine intervention like really is apparent every single day.
Yes. I love that, Alannah. Yeah. That also, I can use different words, but it's the same message, right? It's perfect imperfection and there are no mistakes. No, there's an order to this. Like you said, when I think about science, that's what I see too, the human body and its perfection. We are not doing anything to keep it alive. It's just doing so much without we are not thinking our way to be here now. It's just doing what it does. And it's by invisible forces and all so it's incredible. I love the way you said that. Nothing is wrong, right? You just stopped me for a moment too. I mean, I love philosophy and spirituality in a philosophical way as well. I have to ask you this question. That's one of my favorite topics. Going a little bit away from hormones, but within the human experience of mind, body, and spirit. What is your idea of God? Where is God? Have you reflected upon that? Where and what is God to you?
So I think I was like kind of having this debate with someone, but they brought up some good points that God and universe aren't the same. But to me, I can't help but like to me they are. So the God and universe are one and the same. So everything that like happens is God, and then just they're synonyms to me. I don't know. I someone was saying how that was like a really not a intelligent way of looking at things, and I felt like she had a lot of good points that I probably need to revisit. But that's how I've always interpreted it. So but yeah, I come from like a Catholic family, and there is this more kind of like rigid way of viewing God and stuff. So I feel like that foundation and that influence actually is a good starting point, and I don't know, I feel like religion kind of has this like aura of negativity these days in modernity or something, but not realizing that it's like such a tool that humans used forever. And it's a tool, not in a sense of like a crutch, but just like a way of understanding and reckoning with the world we live in today. And so it's helped me on my journey. We're all on our own journey. And it's like kind of something you always come back to. I feel like it's always there. And you can like reject it and say, I'm my own person, but not recognizing how ultimately a lot of these things are tools to live a better life and a more happy and a more enjoyable life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fundamental, isn't it? The essence, the fundamental teachings of all religion, to live in love, to love oneself, love your neighbor, love everyone, really. It's all about that's the foundational, or that's what I see in all religions, pretty much all the ones that I have studied. It's pretty much all the same, but then it's misinterpreted. And then sometimes that's why the bad press a lot of times.
Yeah.
For some reason, it has been interpreted as something used to separate humans. And then now I'm from this religion. Now I don't like you because you're from that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. It's very divisive now.
Yes, right. So thank you for being open, Alannah, to talk about these subjects that it was not part of the conversation, but I always bring this. I don't know if you're aware, but I always bring spirituality into all my conversations. in a way, it's almost spiritualizing what we are doing in a sense of bringing love to it and a sense of softness and not really this idea of doing something to get somewhere, but just to be in the moment and enjoy what's happening here. That's really my purpose of creating this, and has been a lot of fun, meaningful fun. Thank you for being open.
Yeah, we need to do that more, like reflect and think deeper. I feel like actually I was having this like thought yesterday about how, a lot of people have trouble like finding, I think a lot of people have trouble finding their person in this life, like, their significant other, their husband, their boyfriend or whatever. And I was just thinking about how, because a lot of scrolling on dating apps or casual sex is a lot easier and convenient than going deep and like going deep on relationships, going deep on love. Scrolling on TikTok is easier than watching a movie. These like brief, skittish, flittering interactions are just easier than going deep on anything. And I feel like there's like an entire generation that doesn't know like what it feels like to be in love and like the butterflies of like, all of these of going with someone or anything, going deep on a topic instead of just watching a health reel on Instagram, like go read the biology book and like, go hard on something, go deep on it. So I feel like that way about like, people just not thinking about their purpose and their meaning and their mission and everything, I feel like so I think it's good what you're doing.
Because that's been my own experience. I was disconnected for so long and not knowing what to do and being guided by childhood traumas, and just so confused that when I found that place within, we can call it, it's not really a place, but there's it's a glimpse of that cannot be touched by the outside world. It's, it is out there too, but it's clearly here. Happiness, peace, it's not something that we find out there. And that's what you said earlier, really, that also caught my attention, because you mentioned that you've done a lot, and then now you find more meaning doing what you're doing today. There's more depth. This has more depth. And that brings us peace and happiness. That's what my experience has been. And that's why I can't help it but talk about spirituality, because has been, we call it spirituality, but what is it? It's just really going deeper, as you said. Just going deeper. And it's not easy, right, for most of us. It's easier not to. But boy, it's so much better when we go deeper. So we're almost at the end. I do have a few more questions for you, the ending questions. Before that, Alannah, would you like to add anything that we forgot to mention or you left unsaid?
I don't think so. I think, if you care about your health or you're going through anything, any symptom, we're here to help. And you can always, if you have more questions, email us or sign up on our website.
Yes, and I'll have the link on your podcast profile. My ending question, let's see. I'll ask you this because you mentioned too the word love. What is love from your point of view as of now? You kind of mentioned, you're like, everything is love, at the end of the day, like that's what we're kind of missing in all of this, is like everything is spurned out of, just originates from a sense of love. And it's like absolutely beautiful that we are, that's the only way we are really created is through this act of love. So everything has its origin in love, and there's different forms of it. I kind of like actually how in like the Spanish language, there's different versions of the word love. And like, of course, English, we just like simplify everything down from complexity. But, in Spanish, it's like, I love you, to say someone, and then you like can love a thing. And so there's different like degrees of all of these things. And that's kind of where things become like relevant to someone's life. But, I think in all areas and everything, there is this like, at the end of the day, this like building block of love. So yes, beautifully said too. And it actually is good in a way that we use love for everything, because it is in everything, or perhaps even everything is in love.
Yes.
That's even more profound. So the last question is, what is another word for healing? What comes to mind?
So to me, I think healing is really restoring, because like the natural like state of, you think of a child that's just like booming with energy and a fast metabolism, not bogged down, not stress free in every way. And the sense of like juiciness to even their skin tone and their just a total life is like so filled up to the rim, and their cup is so full, and they're so warm. Their hands aren't cold or anything. And so healing is really restoring, because we can consistently achieve that sort of a version of that for a long time, a lot more time than we are made to think now. We kind of have this idea that you have to be feeble, at 60. I'm like, if you met my mom, just booming with energy. And so it's not only just like, yes, hormones replacing them, all of that is huge, but it's your outlook of life, and it's your stand against the world, and how you view every interaction, like where did something fall apart, or was it just something you need to learn? And so it's a mindset, at the heart of everything, of course, like how we view our health, how we view others, how we view the world around us. But all of those things impact how we are living on a daily basis. And so if you need to heal something, I would just assume you're just restoring it to your baseline. Everything is reacting to new environments. So you are just restoring it to this more effervescent self. And that's totally okay. We all need to course correct sometimes. I've had to do that a million times. When I was like sick every other week at Twitter, I was like, I got to change so much right now that I need to consider that I'm doing a lot of things that are just getting in my way. And then I was able to restore, I like normal, like weight even. Like I used to like be so crazy about, even like wanting to lose weight and stuff. And when I was able to like overcome that battle, it just happens by itself, right? Like a child doesn't need to think about their weight. They are eating like an animal. They're like so instinctual. And so, I had to restore those healthy mental patterns and everything. So it's really about restoring to this amazing baseline that everyone is able to achieve. It's just, we just need to get there and get the tools, the right guides.
Yeah, right. It's a guide. I love your wisdom. And I love how everything, it's a return to nature, just going back to harmony again.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You always, you do that in a very beautiful way, very spontaneous, very genuine. I love everything about you, Alannah. It's really beautiful. See, that's what we want to see us in businesses. Because we take ourselves everywhere, right? We don't want to leave ourselves home and go to work. We want to just be whole everywhere we go. So you represent that. Thank you. My last question, the technical question, where is the best place to find more information about you? The website, Instagram, and other means?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and, our website too. As well.
Wonderful. I'll have the website link and your Instagram link on your podcast profile. Thank you so much again for your presence and your beautiful presence, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now, Alannah. Bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Alannah Slingsby and her work, please visit momenthealth.co.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.